Morning. It's Wild Eye Entertainment review day today. Today's title for Wild Eye. Um, I haven't seen too many people review this one, at least lately. It's a movie starring Robin Hodge, Joel Elliott, and Peter Whitaker. It says "Welcome to the Great Outdoors," and the title is Countryside. It's from Grace Chance Films from 20, 2017, and it was directed by Brett Kelly. Clocks in at nearly 69 minutes on this one. It is also playing currently on Tubi TV too, so I'll be putting a link in the comments below. And in conjunction with GAPC Entertainment. Basically, it starts off right from the get go with a guy and a girl in a car, and they're on their way to a cross country wedding. I believe in the movie it said the girl was a sister of the girl in the car, and they were headed to the wedding. And I believe it was our oldest sister, and they're talking about where they're going to stay along the way. And the boyfriend or slash guy interest in this, oh, he kind of acts kind of like he's cheap or something, or he doesn't want to spend money on a place to stay. So they want to stay out in the woods somewhere, and they don't know where. So they pull over when they find a forest ranger station. I believe it was forest ranger station number 5, where they meet a kind of like a odd. I don't know. He's a nice enough guy, but he's kind of odd at the same time. Forest ranger. He kind of just like pops up out of nowhere. Let's see, but he tells them of a way that, or an area of which there was a good place that they could stay, and that no one stayed up in there for over a year. So just be careful because there's wild animals. You don't want to have food, lingering to your clothes because you will attract wildlife. Um, he tells them the area to go to, so they go up there and they find a place that's quite a bit away from the car, which, you're in the woods, you kind of don't know where to stay in the woods because it's so open and so plentiful in terms of where you could stay. But they stay at a part of the woods that's like kind of like good, but it has like some seclusion mixed with being on a trail. At least that's what it looked like to me. And they set up tent. They set up tent and they rough it outside basically. And I think at some point they're walking together around the campsite, and all of a sudden the boyfriend goes missing, which is really weird because he's like there, and then he's not. And in the meantime, main actress in this, what was her name, Robin Hodge, um, goes to look for her boyfriend and she can't find him. And all of a sudden she stumbles upon a clearing in the woods. I don't know how she didn't really see the bear trap because they stick out like a sore thumb. And I guess because she was looking around instead of down. And she steps into the bear trap and it snags her leg. And she spends a little bit of time in and out of consciousness due to the pain. I guess they're trying to go for it. So she had traumatic trauma to the leg, and it was causing her to go in and out of consciousness from the shock, I guess, of the pain. Uh, she tries many times to get out of the trap, but to no avail. She hears a growling off in the distance at one point, and I don't know, it's a lone wolf. I honestly don't know why there weren't more than one because usually wolves travel in packs, especially when they're uh, kind of that's where they're the most deadly when they travel in packs. And in this one, it was a lone wolf from what I saw. Although it did imply later there were other wolves. So, um, let's see. And then one time she wakes up while she's been in the trap and she sees her boyfriend sitting beside her and he's telling her the fire's gone out and basically talking to her. And I don't know, I guess it must have been a dream because when she come to again, he wasn't there and the fire was out, but it was kind of a weird nod to kind of like a ghostly image of her boyfriend, which I guess it was her just, worrying about him so that she dreamt about him. Uh, then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, she hears this growling noise, and she's like, "Come get me! Come get me!" She's like, sick of pursuing her, and she's basically at the wolves, you know, leisure to attack at any time, especially being caught in a bear trap. And then all of a sudden, the wolf comes out of nowhere and starts to jump on her and attack her. And these three guys that happen to be staying up in the woods uh, come out of nowhere and they kill. Well, I don't know if they actually kill the wolf, but it sounds like it yelps, like it was shot. Maybe it ran off. I have no idea. I think it might have been killed though. But it was shot by one of the three, the lead main guy. Uh, and they take her to a cabin and they give her some coffee and some jerky because she hasn't ate anything in quite a few hours and had anything to drink. And then she keeps asking them if they can take the trap off, and the guy's like, "No, we better not because we could make it worse if we take it off." And personally, I think they were getting off on her pain because I'll tell you why in a little bit. They take her to their cabin, like I said, and they act funny about all the questions she's asking, like, "Can you take me to the doctor?" And they're like, "Oh, well, we better not do that." They just kind of act really funny. They're kind of odd a little bit. Uh, but then they do at some point. The main bad guy in this, does take it upon himself to physically take it off, and he said this may hurt a little bit. And like I saw in another review, I kind of thought when the three guys came into the picture, I thought it was going to go kind of the sadistic way where they were going to rape her. That's what I kind of thought, just because they go, this is gonna hurt, and I just kind of thought it might go to the raunchy way. But this movie was really short. It was so easy to get into because it was so short. Because it was like by the time it all got set into motion, it was half over. Really wasn't a ton of action in this movie at all, but I mean, it's basically felt very sci-fi like with the way the movie was, because I mean, it didn't even really show any creatures or anything. I thought it might be more in the vein of like a Bigfoot or some kind of unique creature, but it mostly spent most of its time struggling for the girl to get out of the trap. But apparently, the whole goal of this movie was for these three guys to hunt people to watch them die. It really wasn't a movie about, more or less like a Monster of the Week kind of movie. It really wasn't nothing like that, or like a Bigfoot or anything of that nature. But it pretty much was her struggle to get out of the bear trap. But apparently they had met up with the boyfriend, and that's how he went missing. Because she went next door in one of the cabins, and he had a bag over his head, and he was all bloodied and stuff. So they lied to her about that as well, about not seeing him. They had must have did some damage on him, like beat him up and stuff, and rendered him kind of unconscious because he ended up dying at some point. After she had saw him, because he did come to when she tried to revive him in terms of like his state of being. and he had died at her feet at some point when she had woken up the next morning. But pretty much, this is her struggle to get out of the bear trap, and basically she turns the tables on the men with the help of the forest ranger, who ends up coming to her aid in one scene where he helps her shoot one of the men, and that guy dies, so that leaves the two guys, and then like I said, she turns the tables on the two guys that are left, and the girl stabs one second main guy in the leg, and he's kind of bleeding, and he's like down on the ground, and she at some point grabs this huge, good-sized boulder and keeps like when he's down, she keeps smashing him in the head with a pretty good-sized rock, and obviously smashes his head to nothing or nearly nothing, killing him. So that leaves her and the main bad guy, and pretty much the movie at that point is a one-on-one confrontation, which at some point he gets caught in a bear trap during a struggle with her, and his head gets caught in the bear trap. I know bear traps. I honestly think if that was a real sadistic bear trap, like I know them, when it came down onto his head, I think it would have cut it clean off, honestly. But they say it just basically sticks into both sides of his head. I don't really see how. I think it would have went right through, but it made it worse for him anyway living, because then out of nowhere another wolf comes and snags him and drags him away, and we don't see nothing of him no more. And by the end, she crawls to and gets to I believe it was their car at some point. I'm not sure. Lost kind of focus on if that was their car or someone else's car they had did this with, but they got to a little kind of like a little sportsy black vehicle that had a walkie-talkie in it. She manages to get to it, tells people she basically needs help, and basically that's how it ends. And it ends on a good note, but it kind of I don't know. I wish it would have been a little longer. That's probably one of my chief complaints about this. I was hoping there was some a little bit more carnage going on. But it was a pretty fun little film for what it was. I'm trying to see what. Yeah, like I said, the director is Brett Kelly and the writer was Brett Kelly. Starred Robin Hodge, Joe Elliott, Peter Whitaker, Andrew Galligan, Trevor Payer, and Lee Sire. He also, I guess, from what I'm seeing too, Brett Kelly also did the film Ouija Shark from 2020. So he is quite familiar with the genre. But that's my review for Countrycide this morning. This is currently, as I said, playing on Tubi TV. Doesn't say if it has any special features, but it is widescreen presentation. It's highly recommended by Decay Mag, Bloody Disgusting website, and Indie Horror Online. But that's the review for Countrycide. I'll leave you with this picture this cover before we leave. Not a bad movie. Not the greatest, but not bad. Somewhere about the middle of the pack, but pretty fun little 70 minutes you could watch. But thank you, Wild Eye. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video, guys. See you later. Bye.